Hello, this is the second essay that looks at this extract from Of Mice and Men, The Death of Curly's Wife. Let's see if this candidate is able to relate what he knows about the novel, the themes of the novel, to the extract by starting with the extract itself. This part of the novel is a powerful moment in the novel. Well, he doesn't need to repeat that because he's just said it. Because it is the part when Lenny kills Curly's wife. I done a bad thing. Okay, so he's picked a quotation. Now he has to say why that makes it powerful. Steinbeck links her death to all the events at the start. For example, at the start, because he didn't know how to spell beginning. So one top tip, words that you know you can't spell that you will use in the exam, practice. And the other one is, in literature, the spelling doesn't count too much against you, so you can afford to use the right word even if you spell it wrongly. Of the novel, Lenny gets accused of rape because he gripped on to the dress and didn't let go. Now, you can't use the word the because it assumes you already mentioned what this dress is. So if you're giving some context, you actually have to spell it out. Then, later on in the novel, Lenny killed a mouse by squeezing it too hard. Finally, before killing Curly's wife, Lenny killed a puppy. If you notice these events all linked together, well, you need to be explicit and tell the examiner how they link together. And each time the event is getting worse. Okay, that's a good point. So the severity of his killing is increasing. But as we know, Lenny isn't the full ticket. Avoid colloquial language like this. So Lenny isn't fully in control of his instincts. Something like that. Be specific. So the reason for all these incidents are because Lenny has no self-control. Good. But very good points about Lenny, but it doesn't really come back to this point here about the quotation. It doesn't link back to his growing sense of realization that what he has done is wrong. So this candidate has picked an excellent quotation to discuss, but then he hasn't discussed it. It doesn't help him. Whereas a discussion of what Lenny's thinking here would get him much higher marks. One way Lenny deals with getting out of trouble is going to the brush. The reason he goes to the brush is because it is the most hidden place, and it's where George tells him to go to keep him out of trouble. So we've got a big problem here because it doesn't relate to a quotation yet. But this candidate pulls it out of the bag. George will be mad, and he said, and hide in the brush till he come. The reason George and Lenny are so close is because George is like Lenny's carer, and this is why Lenny listens to him. Well, that's fine, but it's not linked to the question, which is why this is a powerful moment in the novel. And the other problem is it's not linked to any of the themes of the novel or to Steinbeck's viewpoint. So this candidate hasn't written about why this information is there. What's its job? Why does Steinbeck put it in? For example, the fact that George tells Lenny where to hide at the beginning of the novel gives us a strong clue that he knows Lenny will commit murder. So that asks us to question George's motives. So that we could talk about the desire for companionship, but also the desire for freedom. We could link it to the inherent violence in the novel and perhaps George's need to be violent. That could be another reason that he kills Lenny. Not something that most readers would say about George, but that interpretation is definitely possible. And of course it also links to the idea of fate, as though George somehow has an inkling of how the world works, and that Lenny is fated to commit a murder. You know, these killings will get worse, and that then George perhaps is going to be fated to have to kill Lenny as the ultimate protection. These themes could be discussed here, but our candidate has ignored them. On the other hand, if Lenny did not have George, then it would be hard for Lenny to survive in the Great Depression. He wouldn't be able to work because he wouldn't be the fittest of the fittest. Again, he's using a phrase here which is a bit colloquial, and it's not relating to anything in the novel. Also, with the events he had gotten into, he would have been lynched because it was such a hard time to live. So he's attempting to link this to the themes in the novel, but not doing very well. So this candidate hasn't included Steinbeck's point of view. He hasn't talked about the actual themes of the novel. And most importantly, he hasn't really analysed any of the quotations in the text. So this is a very weak answer. And added to that is the massive problem that this is all he's written of the second page. So it's not a consistent effort. The examiner will really struggle to award decent marks to an effort like this. Now, it's important to say that this student isn't just lazy, he wants to do well. The problem is he isn't focused on what's going to help him do well. And there's no point doing any revision unless that revision is focused on exactly what you need to show in the exam. So don't be tempted just to go through the motions. In my next video, I'll show you a candidate who's written 2 pages and has tried, not successfully for the most part, but tried to introduce the themes of the novel to match the extract.